Wallace, your question.
We're very clear that you will be the mayor of the citizens of Akron. We want to know what is your position on the national issue of Black Lives Matter?
I think I heard it pretty succinctly the other day, and people have varying opinions about what you think you should say. To me, it's about Black lives mattering as much as everybody else. And that's an issue I think that we've gotten away from, especially as a community. And it goes back to how we've treated our residents. We need to do a better job, and that needs to start in the mayor's office. It's hard for me, and as I sit in that mayor's office and I say, well, listen, we need to be engaged more. I need to be engaged more. We need to be engaging in the community to figure out what actually the problems are. So when you look at some of the issues that are affected, say it's just police and community relations, we need to get to a common sense policing solution. We need to maybe stop the process of overcharging and try to look at some of those aspects as how they affect in the community. Because if we do this, all we do is create negative attitudes. And it goes back to the earlier thing that I had said. When you knock on the door, if you go into McDonald's or anywhere else and you ask for a cup of coffee, and you pull up and they say, what do you want? You're going to go to the next place. We can't be like that. We have a hard enough time getting out of our own way. We need to change the attitude and the culture, and our workforce needs to more accurately reflect what our city's population is. All of those things, I think, working in conjunction, help the city move forward.
You know, I've heard the term Black Lives Matter. Well, all lives matter, but here's the problem that we have right now, is that we don't have white kids being killed on the streets. We don't have other kids being killed on the street. We have black kids being killed on the street. And that's a reflection of the attitude of what people have about our children. There is much to do about the Circle K incident, and let's make sure we're clear on it. I'm not advocating that the kids go out and rob, steal, and all of that, but when my wife and we saw the incident, these were middle-class kids that decided to do a snatch and grab. They took Polar Pops, potato chips, and ran out the door. But you read in the media, oh, this black gang of black thugs went and terrorized Circle K, when it was nothing like that, because the police handled that situation appropriately. They arrested the kids that were the ringleaders, and they're standing around talking with the other kids, and you can see the mother coming in and the father coming in. The mother has the baby on the hip. You knew that those kids were going to get a whooping when they got home. So it's the perception that we have. Yes, our children's lives matter, but here's the thing. The man at the top shapes the character of the people up under them. And part of what I know is that I will shape the police department to be a situation where they're going to have to be trained on their implicit bias and recognize that not every black kid is a dangerous child out there.
Well, first off, as a member of the most targeted group in this nation, we live this every day. And when I talk to young people, I tell them, don't get fooled by this suit. It's not a bulletproof suit. And I'm subject to the same kinds of attitudes and discrimination as every other African-American male out there. We have a dual job to do. We have to address the police and other institutions that we have to encounter and deal with the biases in those institutions. But we also have to take a good look at ourselves and our own community and start addressing these issues in our community. We tolerate entirely too much. We have to come together with corrected institutions to deal with the problems and issues that we jointly face. So this is an issue that is deep, it's ingrained. We have to attack it with vigor and challenge, and not only Akron should become a model for how we deal with these kinds of issues. And I'll have to get to my rebuttal.
May I have a rebuttal?
If you must.
Yes, I must, because here's the thing. I agree with Mr. Williams in terms of his comments, but here's the thing. As mayor, you've got to create an environment within the police department where those 99.9% good officers want to do the right thing. They know that they are supported by the man at the top, so that they are going to be trained properly to make sure that when they interact with our citizens, and especially our black citizens, that they're treated with respect, courtesy, and professionalism. And we have not had that. When you go around in the Ward 4, because I know personally I was pulled over by the police officer, and like Mr. Williams said, my suit is not bulletproof, and the first thing that the officer said, do you know why I pulled you over? No, I'm assuming because I was black.
I'll just do 20 seconds. I just want to make one observation. I think this is kind of as we've gone as a society as a whole, and sometimes even in the city, we've completely lost our capacity to forgive. We won't tolerate anything. We have a zero, we say, no, that's it. You made one mistake, we can't do anything else. The other part of it is not only the capacity to forgive, is that we don't allow anybody any room for personal growth. We have these very high standards I think we should have. Well, we should allow for personal growth, and we should allow for some forgiveness in all of that what we do. Thank you.
Okay. Our time is almost up. You want to give a rebuttal, sir?
This issue is probably the deepest issue that we have talked about here today. And it is going to take a concerted effort. I agree with everything Mr. Sipper said as it relates to setting the tone in the police department and doing those things. But there's also responsibility to set a tone in the community. We have to hold each other accountable on these issues and these concerns. And this is where we start. We talked about youth programming. We talked about a whole number of things here today. They all interconnect into dealing with these root issues that are destroying our young people and destroying our community. Thank you.